Have you felt confused as to what the best guns are in the game right now? Well, with the meta constantly shifting in episode 2, I know I am. And today, we have made a video to guide you through your future in-game purchases. What is up, ProGuides family? It's your host, Sergeant Frost, and today, we have an updated patch 2.03 gun tier list guide. Let's not waste any more time and let's start this video off on the S tier. Since the last time we've made a gun tier list video, running and gunning has gone through some significant changes. And despite all the changes to how the core shooting mechanics work in Valorant, this gun has still found its way to the top. The Phantom still reigns king in Valorant as the best overall rifle in the game, and for good reason. The suppressor is once again the defining factor that separates this gun from the Vandal, Bulldog, and Guardian. Being able to hide your tracers when firing through smoke and keeping an overall low profile is something that is hard to pass up. A general easier to control recoil pattern makes this weapon easier to spray with at all ranges compared to other rifles. The fulfilling 30 round mag size makes this gun the most reliable rifle in close ranges, because while the bigger mag size might seem like a minuscule buff, it will make all the difference when you find yourself needing to spray down multiple people quickly. The Phantom, with all of its positive attributes and very few drawbacks, still remains the top dog in the Valorant meta. Even after the running and gunning changes that happened a few patches ago, the Vandal still feels good to use. And I suppose that's because with how this gun is supposed to function, you should be standing completely still while posted up watching an angle with this thing. The Vandal feels a lot better to use in the current meta, and people who like taking advantage of this thing's one shot to the head potential at all ranges have made this their go-to weapon. But the overall stats of this gun isn't the only reason it's found its way into the S tier. The Vandal has been seeing a nice and steady rise in pick rate over time, and I believe that's because after the running and gunning got nerfed, there was less of a reason to use the Phantom since its unfair advantage was suddenly gone over the course of one patch. This means that the Vandal's high damage and one-shot potential is starting to give this gun an advantage over its brother, the Phantom. The ODIN is a very capable weapon when put into the right hands, and the reason it has seen a lot more use over the course of last year was not because of any buffs, nerfs, or stat changes, but because of its popularity among pro players, YouTubers, and streamers. At the end of the day, the ODIN is a low skill floor but high skill ceiling weapon. It doesn't take much to use this gun properly, but there are many situations and instances where this gun is easy to mess up with while using it, and you can get yourself killed. The ODIN is the second most expensive gun in the game, and for its price point, this gun definitely performs up to our high expectations for it. This is a very powerful gun with a great damage profile and a high rate of fire. But with that high rate of fire comes some pretty insane recoil and spray patterns that you will need to be able to control. But just because it's powerful doesn't mean that most players will use this gun improperly. The ODIN is a unique gun because of its prowess over other guns when firing in full auto. But there is one aspect of the ODIN that separates it from other guns, especially its direct counterpart, the ARAS. Its primary fire, again like the ARAS, speeds up while firing in full auto. But unlike the ARAS, its ADS allows you to immediately start shooting at its maximum fire rate. This is a very unique and beneficial attribute that the ODIN has that puts it over other automatic assault rifles in Valorant. Moving on to A tier, the BUCKY has been quite the hot topic throughout the Valorant community, and this is due to its newfound fame at the hands of Corky, the shotgun sage. The BUCKY is in the A tier not only due to its increased popularity, but also because of its distinct features that separates itself from the Judge. The distinction of different fighting styles between this gun's two fire modes allows for you to have options when choosing your engagements. As long as you have well-trained trigger discipline and good target acquisition, the BUCKY is a weapon to be feared in the hands of a well-equipped user. Mastering the BUCKY takes a lot of practice and training. If you want more expertise helping you get good with the shotguns and all the guns in Valorant, head over to our website ProGuides.com. On our website, you can upload your gameplay VODs and have one of our veteran high elo coaches go over them with you. On ProGuides.com, we have coaches online 24/7 waiting to help you improve your gameplay, so that one day you can climb to the rank of your dreams. The Judge is a weapon that gives players a great sense of confidence when using it, and that's because it encourages a W key playstyle that is very hard to counter. The Judge is a weapon that excels at one thing in particular that other guns struggle with in Valorant, and that is getting brute force kills around the map. The next time you're in a deficit for credits and want a reliable lethal weapon, look no further than the Judge. The Judge has been a relatively cheap power weapon with high firepower that has been greatly effective at doing its job whether it be on offense or defense. The Judge was certainly affected by the running and gunning nerfs a few patches ago, but that doesn't mean it's still not one of the most lethal and mobile weapons in all of Valorant. After a sizable price increase of a nerf from 4,500 to 5,000 credits, the Operator is much more of an investment and will impact your team's economy if you lose it. But even with the nerfs it received, if you use this gun as a traditional sniper rifle, it will get the job done. Gone are the days of aggressive opping and quick scoping like flights. Playing passive and stationary to make sure you circumvent the new movement and accuracy penalties will allow you to still get great results with the AWP. I recommend watching old school Fallen from his early CSGO days to see what a great example of playing passive and reactionary looks like. In my opinion, the best way to find success with the new AWP after its nerfs is to study someone like Steel or coldzera from CSGO and learn a conservative style of AWPing. While the AWP may have lost its power when attacking, it is still certainly the best gun in the game on defense. The MARSHAL is one of the few guns that has elevated itself on our tier list, and for good reason. The MARSHAL has found its way into the A section of our tier list due to the buff it got in patch 2.03. This gun got its price decreased from 1100 to 1000, and that makes a world of a difference on save rounds and half-buy rounds. This gun already has special attributes going for it. For example, it has near perfect accuracy while hip firing, which makes it a formidable weapon both up close and from far away. The MARSHAL is on the rise in the meta, so get on board and master this weapon before it truly becomes mainstream. The SPECTRE is, in my opinion, one of the best guns in the game for how much it costs. It has a unique role in the meta of being the ultimate eco-friendly weapon. This gun is never a bad buy when you're in a pinch for credits, and you will always get value out of it. A lot of players might argue that the SPECTRE is a slightly worse version of the Phantom, but that doesn't mean that this gun is completely useless. The SPECTRE is a jack of all trades but master of none weapon that every Valorant player should be able to use when the time comes. Now that the Frenzy's been put back in its place after the patch 2.03 nerfs, the Ghost will finally get another opportunity to shine in-game. The Ghost is one of the most valuable guns you can have on a pistol round or on a save round. Learning how to not spray with the Ghost is one of the initial roadblocks of using this weapon effectively. And learning how to space out your shots and try to accurately line up those headshots to down people instantly is the best and most effective way to learn to use this weapon. Panic spraying with this weapon and losing your gunfights will do you no favors, so become a master at slow tapping and land those headshots and you will win pistol rounds in seconds. What's up, gamers and grinders? I hope you all are winning your rank games and climbing the ladder. I wanted to let you guys know that we have a new Valorant course on our website written by the pro player Psalm from Team Dignitas. Psalm is known for having one of the greatest strategic and analytical minds in all of esports. In his course, he covers the tactical FPS fundamentals ranging from aim and movement to defaulting and round development. You will finish this new course with sharpened game knowledge, secrets from a pro player, and you'll have the right mindset to improve. Make sure when you purchase anything on our website, use the promo code FPS25 for a discount on anything you buy. The Guardian has been through so many buffs and nerfs that it's hard to keep track of how the community values this gun, and that also goes for how people rank it within the meta. Before we talk about why this gun deserves B tier, let's discuss some of its new stats that were buffed in previous patches. The Guardian received several price reductions before Riot landed on the magic number 2,400. They also increased its rate of fire from 4.75 seconds to 5.25 seconds. And to top off the overhaul of this gun, they improved the weapon recovery time from 0.35 after 3 bullets to 0.29 after 3 bullets. This makes the Guardian a formidable direct competitor for the Vandal and even the Operator after its nerfs. The Guardian is a skillful weapon to use, but if you put in the time to learn to master its engagements, your investments will certainly pay off. There's a reason that this gun has sprung from bottom of the barrel to godlike in the span of a few months, and that is mostly due to how powerful this thing is while running and gunning on pistol rounds. It is not uncommon to get double tapped to the head at range by this thing, and find yourself out of the round before you can say you're kidding me. The Frenzy did receive a slight price hike from 400 credits to 500, but that does not change any of the gun's damage or handling stats. The only thing the price nerf did was prevent people from buying the Frenzy and light armor and making themselves tanks on pistol round. I know that you might not be able to buy light armor on the first round with this thing anymore, but it is surely one of the best pistols in the game off stats alone. Don't let the hype about the nerf scare you, this gun is still a monster when in the right hands. The Stinger is another gun that got nerfed pretty heavily in patch 2.03. It became a problem overnight in the Valorant competitive meta, and it received its justice in patch 2.03, with nerfs ranging from a price increase to a reduction in fire rate and an increase in recoil in both of the gun's fire modes. The Stinger as a gun is for sure down bad and not the killing machine it was a month ago. Of all the broken low-cost weapons in the game, this gun deserved every nerf Riot handed it in patch 2.03. And the main thing you need to understand about this gun is that it's meant to be a close-range bullet hose that deletes people. And before its nerfs, it was overstepping its boundaries power-wise. All these nerfs did was bring it back in line for what it should be as a gun. And that means that the Stinger isn't truly terrible, it's just performing the way it was intended now. There was a lot of madness surrounding the pistol since episode 2 began, but one gun that stayed true to itself within the meta is the Sheriff. The Sheriff certainly has more competition within its price range now, when you consider how strong the BUCKY, MARSHAL, Frenzy, and Stinger are, but the Sheriff is a high-risk, high-reward weapon. This gun rewards sharpshooters that specialize in hitting those headshots and putting enemies down in an instant. The BULLDOG is a gun that borders being fantastic and terrible at the same time, and that is a rare identity for a gun to have in a game like Valorant. This gun struggles simply because there are much better alternative options that do the BULLDOG's job just better. At long range, this thing is outclassed by a lot of guns, including the Sheriff, and up close, this thing is outclassed by all the SMGs, shotguns, and most of the pistols. The only real benefit to the BULLDOG is its cheap price of 2100 credits, making it a nice light buy weapon. But even in that case, 2100 credits is still steep for a full-on save round. And in a light buy scenario, the SPECTRE, MARSHAL, and Stinger are much better options for cheaper. I think the BULLDOG needs some major buffs to prevent it from being even worse, so until Riot decides to give this thing some love, it's forever just a middle tier weapon. Starting off the C tier is the lackluster Shorty. The Shorty is for sure a cheap secondary buy, but compared to all the other pistols dominating the meta currently, this thing is near useless and a waste of money. This gun rose to prevalence early last year because of how well Jett was able to abuse it with her movement mechanics. After Riot directly nerfed the shotguns to lessen Jett's effectiveness with them, the Shorty was caught in the crossfire of balance changes. After those nerfs, this gun's damage feels inconsistent, and has no real purpose outside of being used at point-blank range to get a quick kill. The Ares is a unique weapon for its price. This gun has very high bullet penetration for how much it costs, which basically makes it a cheaper version of the ODIN. If you aren't going to play intel-based agents like Sova and Cypher so that you can spray and wallbang enemies through objects, the Ares is one of the worst weapons in the price range of 1600 credits, and there are so many better options that are much more effective within the meta. Closing out the tier list is the classic pistol, and this gun has fallen to C tier from our last tier list, simply because Riot is determined to nerf this thing's right-click burst fire mode in every way except removing it from the gun entirely. The classic pistol is free and everyone starts with it, so you can't really judge this gun based off of price or how it affects your economy. You're only able to judge this gun based off its damage stats. And since Riot is on a mission to do everything they can to kill this gun, it will remain at the bottom of C tier. Well everyone, that's all we have for the patch 2.03 gun tier list. If you liked the video, then be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content. We upload new videos just like this one every single day, and the best way to stay notified of that is by ringing that notification bell. Don't forget to check out our website, ProGuides.com, to gain some access to some truly amazing coaching. Remember to stay safe out there, and I will see you all again very soon.